Hey guys, how's it going? It's Snoo. Welcome back to another video, and this is going to be an update on what I'm planning for 3.25. I don't usually make a video that just specifically states what I'm planning for 3.25, but this one's bigger and better than usual. I recently came out with 5 separate builds, had a showcase, a teaser, POB is already out there. One of them out of the 5 garnered way more attention than the others, and for good reason, because it's one of the most familiar archetypes. It's one of the most powerful builds. It was a lower budget, it was more new player friendly, and there was something about that build that was particularly awesome. And the build in question is the Freeze Elemental Hit of the Spectrum, and this is why I'm making a video, because this is the build that I'm almost certainly going to be playing. And while I usually make a build that, is more specialized for me, and, I let the community in on what I'm doing, let you follow what I'm doing. But generally speaking, the builds I make are a little more difficult to pull off, has some harder items to acquire early. Maybe it's a little bit convoluted gameplay, something, there's a sacrifice to be made to make the build work, and maybe that sacrifice is or isn't worth it for some players. This time is different, guys. This time we're truly on the precipice of a meta shakeup for one of the most iconic archetypes in the game, the Lightning Arrow Deadeye. You guys know it. It's quite literally the most popular build to play in some leagues, especially at league start. And this is going to change everything. All right. So generally speaking, I can't throw down the gauntlet like that. I can't, make that kind of claim to fame because things have already been figured out, right? So it's an archetype that exists a very long time. You're not going to see something new that's going to challenge the very best of what a build has to offer unless there's new things coming out, new tools, new things we can use. Generally speaking, everything's kind of already figured out. Well, we did get a new tool last league. It's called Elemental Hit of the Spectrum. And while players kind of figured that it would perhaps be better than Lightning Arrow, it most certainly is with the advent of the Painseeker gloves, okay? And so I'm going to make separate videos on that whole thing, but that is sort of, the tech functioning there. And I will dedicate a video to that. We'll do some deep dives on Lightning Arrow versus Elemental Hit of the Spectrum, the way I'm setting it up. But guys, I've gotten a lot of feedback on this already. Many of you, I'm really glad that I went ahead and pushed these videos out ahead of time so you guys could test them. And some of you have, and some of you have given me great feedback, especially on this video. And some of you have asked for a more progressed version, maybe a Headhunter version. Well, I haven't got to that yet. I will get to that on here, and it's going to be the most comprehensive POB build guide I've ever made before. It's going to have more to offer in terms of league start, because I want to bring in new players who maybe don't have much faith in bow gameplay, people who have tried it before and shied away at it, people who can't stand the thought of 6-portal gameplay, who can't stand the idea of, popping a legion and just getting, destroyed in one hit by some monster near you. That is going to be a lot better this time with this build, and there's virtually no sacrifice to be made. That's the thing that's most mind-boggling about this. Generally speaking, if there's going to be a major change in archetype, there's obviously going to be some sacrifices involved, but this build is better than Lightning Arrow, the conventional Lightning Arrow Deadeye, in virtually every single way, especially when you look at it through the earlier gearing stages. The only thing that you could argue against this build in favor of Lightning Arrow would be clear, but that would only really apply if you're already one-shotting virtually everything on the screen, in which case it's not going to make that much difference anyway. So we'll talk more about that in detail. Right now, you can just see me leveling. I'm currently leveling from level 97 to 98, in which case it is now going to be a progressed crit variant of the build. I've added a spine bow, a proper spine crit bow, gotten crit nodes on the passive tree, as you saw in the intro. We got a double inspired learning setup, and we got 6-link Kiri's Ira with 2020 gems, a dying sun. And that's about it. Really didn't change a whole lot from the initial POB I offered. So there's an updated path of building right now, and I'm not hiding the ball here. You guys can see it in advance. You can critique it to your heart's content, and I highly recommend, I dare you to test this build and tell me that it's not as good as Lightning Arrow, because I'm pretty sure you will see that you will have your mind blown when you see just how reliably you can freeze things and still shock them as hard as the Lightning Arrow build can, and clear things basically the same way. And by the way, it does about 50% more damage than Lightning Arrow straight up and the numbers, especially at the early gearing stages. So that's what's coming. We'll be doing some deep dives on this stuff in the future. Still playing a little bit of Last Epoch here right now, but I wanted to get this out there. I will be making videos on the regular Path of Exile coming up soon, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about, you know, the patch notes when they come out and speculate some different things. But my focus is going to be very much on this League starter. I'm quite confident it'll be the best, certainly the most accessible, useful League starter I've ever made. It's not, I'm not, you know, trying to do something weird or off the meta, way off meta this time. I'm really trying to bring something that's going to excite the community and, you know, turn some new people into bow lovers, if you will. Magic Find variants will be coming soon later, but I haven't gotten to it yet. The Path of Building is there right now. Line up everything with the PoE, the skills, and the items. There's different segments in there. You line it all up. There's no notes on it yet. There's no formal guide on it yet. I'm definitely not going to come out with that until after the patch notes. They're going to be pretty big patch notes, I hear. But as most of you already agree, this build not very likely to get nerfed. Okay, the major interaction here is a gem that just got released recently, and it's interacting with gloves that came out in apparently 3.9 tier 5 gloves. So I don't think anything major is going to happen there, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Enjoy the League start prep process. Have fun leveling this build if you're doing it. Let me know how it goes. Check the comments if you want to see what other people are saying. I'm sure there will be some there.